What's up, everybody? The name is, of course, NOMODE SKY. I was drowning in an ocean of my own emotions. My mother passes on the next day, a week before I begin my matric year. Now, this is where time starts betraying me. This is where I start realizing that death can really happen to anybody. But now that I've failed my matric, I am shattered. Again, time betrays me. I don't have the funds to rewrite my matric. Spent a good 3 years at home with absolutely no idea what I am to do with my life. I feel like the best gift that my dad has given me ever is marrying my stepmother. I was betrayed by, say, an energy or an entity. So this one time they had Lebu Mashile, the poet, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, but if she's explaining it like this, maybe let me also try it too. Like in terms of, I just thought, let me just write, let me see what happens. I start dating. Worst mistake ever. What's up, everybody? The name is, of course, NOMODE SKY. I am a poet, a speaker, a lover of word, a lover of all things art, and I am from Tembisa. So a lot of people, when they speak of betrayal, they'll talk about how they were betrayed by friends, by family, and it's almost very rare that a person can say, I was betrayed by, say, an energy or an entity, but that's where my story begins. So the year is 2011. It's December. I can see that my mom is not feeling well. She's battling to do the daily chores that she used to be able to do. So it takes about 2 weeks and then she's bedridden. Crazy enough, I keep asking her what's going on. And she's like, I don't know. It's just that my back aches so much. We take her to the hospital. They can't find anything wrong, but they prescribe certain medication for her. Now in 2011, I am in grade 11. So this is the 4th term in December. We had just gotten our results for November. Now this is where it gets tricky. I can see that my mom was ill and I said to God, listen, if I am going to fail a grade, let it be me failing my matric, but please make sure that I pass my grade 11. I keep that in mind. So then we go back to the hospital. This is the 5th of January, 2012, a week before my matric year begins. When we get to the hospital, now they finally were able to diagnose her and find out what was wrong. She had meningitis of the spine. Go back to God and I pray and I'm like, listen, heal her, whatever that means. If it means that she take her, let it be that, just so she can be healed and she can be okay. But if it means that she still will be able to be with us, I am more than appreciative of that, but I just don't want her to be in pain. My mother passes on the next day, a week before I begin my matric year. Now, this is where time starts betraying me. This is where I start realizing that death can really happen to anybody, because I really believed that death has the ability to scan a room, look through things and realize that I can't take away this person's mother, because without their mother, who are they, right? Okay, fine. Life goes on. I begin my matric year. Everything is okay. I'm trying to cope. I realized that time was yet to betray me again, because I was very slow to process the pain, to process what was actually going on in my world and how things had shifted. I wasn't aware. I was just moving swiftly. I passed the first term, passed the second term, passed the third term. Then it's the 4th term. Remember, with matric, we get our results the following year. So now it's 2013. I'm supposed to be now getting my matric results. And guess what happened? Time did not betray me for the first time ever, because I did pray in 2011 that if I should fail a grade, may it not be grade 11, but rather grade 12, because a part of me kind of sensed that my mother's not going to be able to make it through the following year. And at the same time, I don't want her final memory of her daughter being that she did not pass a grade. And indeed, I did fail my matric. This is where now everything was hitting the fan. I'm talking flowers, water is just hitting the fan. All my rooms are a mess. I realized that this is where reality sinks in. The only dream that I had was just to make it on radio, just to make it in life. I don't know how I was going to make that happen. But now that I've failed my matric, I am shattered. But I'm not shattered because I failed. I'm shattered because I did not get a distinction in English. I was actually okay with having failed maths and physics. I was like, you know what? I never liked those subjects anyway. But I was not happy with the fact that I had failed. I did not rather get a distinction for English. And then I was not angry though. I was not sad because this is something I had prayed for. Well, I kind of bargained for. I did, of course, say to God, if you can't give me this, give me the other. And so it was given to me. And so that's what comforted me. Again, time betrays me. I don't have the funds to rewrite my matric. Spent a good 3 years at home with absolutely no idea what I am to do with my life. But I keep trying, going to these job interviews, thinking, okay, fine, they'll check the rest of the marks and realize that, she can actually make something of herself. But no, nothing was budging. 4 years later, that's when I was able to rewrite my matric. I feel like the best gift that my dad has given me ever is marrying my stepmother, because she's one person with a gorgeous and amazing heart. And the role that she has played in our lives, I don't think my mother was going to be able to play if ever she were the one who was placed in her shoes in terms of taking another child in or being able to build a family like that. During the period where I was here to rewrite my matric and the finances were not allowing, my stepmother, who was at the time married to my father, said, you know what, you can move in with us. It's okay. This was 2013. But this is now exactly the same time that my father is divorcing her. But she still says, it's okay, I'll take you in. Understand that I've got 6 half siblings by my stepmother and by my father. And I'm an only child to my mother. And still this woman says, I will take you in with the 6 that I have. And I am unemployed. Our father was the one that was taking care of everything in the household. But now that he's decided to just step away, he's found someone new. He doesn't care that his daughter hasn't rewritten her matric. He's like, you know what, everything's going to work out. I trust this woman as much as, yes, I am leaving her. I trust that she will be able to raise these kids under the same umbrella. So then, yes, 2013, I move in with my my stepmother, and I call her the mother that stepped up. I don't like the whole stepmother notion. So the mother that stepped up, and I live with my 6 siblings. And this was crazy because from being an only child to now living with 6 other beings that you must share things with, share your moods with, open up to. This is where time was beginning to reveal to me how I need the next person. This was where time was beginning to show me that you don't have to be an island. You have to speak up, because I was literally one person that was unable to speak. If I have a problem with you or you stepped on my toes, I'm going to be angry at you, and I'm not going to be vocal about it. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You're going to now have to sniff out what happened. And if you don't sniff out, in my head, there's a war. You and I are not talking to each other anymore, and you don't understand what's going on. Passed my physics, failed my maths again, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. I'm happy with my matric certificate. I am fine. Now, time has betrayed me because it has still moved on. It did not allow me time to just sit down and grieve. It did not allow me time to say, listen, I'm still a child. I am no longer with my mother. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to ask advice from. Understand that growing up, I was a very shy child, very introverted. I wasn't one to be assertive. If I wanted ice cream, I would just look at my mother. She would know exactly what I wanted. If I wanted to talk to someone, my mother would speak for me, because she knew that I'm a person that's not entirely vocal. Then time said to me, listen, I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to teach you that from the security guard that you see at the door, you will greet. You will not only need or be dependent on your mother, but you will understand that umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. And that's when I had to now break down all these walls I have created. I had to now understand that my mother's no longer here. My voice box is no longer here. I need to now stand up and speak for myself. That's when I went out and started job hunting. And that's when poetry kicked in again, because I started poetry in grade 8, but then I left it, transitioned into rap in matric, then I also left it. But now time comes back and says to me, remember you did not think that you needed people? Remember that you did not think that you needed the next person, the only person that you needed in your life was your mother? Well, now that person is gone. You have to find your way and you have to need the next person. And that's when poetry came back and said, you need your fans, you need your people that are going to listen to you, and you need your tribe. So time betrayed me, but at the same time, it healed me. And I realized that as much as, yes, I may have dreams, as much as, yes, I may have goals, and I'm at an age where I thought I would have reached certain pinnacles, it's okay. to not have yet achieved those things. And it's okay to sometimes just go with the flow. And that has been the theme of my life. But no, it wasn't a person that betrayed me. It wasn't a friend. It wasn't a sister. It was time telling me that it is bigger than my ideas, than my notion of what life is about. It was bigger than my understanding of pain. It was bigger than me not needing the next person. It was bigger than me just being an island. I needed a community. And that's what I've been able to establish today through my being betrayed by time at an early age. So being at home with my siblings and my mom taught me that I am not alone, and I will always have people that want what's best for me. And that's how I learned to understand that as much as yes, time betrayed me by taking away my mother, I did not shut other family members out of my life just because of that. It took a while and it wasn't easy. It was like I was drowning in an ocean of my own emotions because I live in my head a lot. I'm one person that imagines a lot, fantasizes a lot. So now I have to step outside of that and actually sit with people, be with people, communicate with people. My English teachers would be like, oh, you're amazing at this. This is quite great. So I remember this was in grade 7. I was watching a show on SABC1 where they would tell the background stories of certain celebrities. So this one time they had Lebo Mashile, the poet, and she was explaining how she started out with poetry, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, but if she's explaining it like this, maybe let me also try it too. Like in terms of, she just thought, let me just write, let me see what happens. And so that's what I did. I picked up the pen and I wrote my first poem, now that I'm thinking about it, but it was amazing because it started and it gave birth to many more poems. But poetry was never something that I thought I would go into full time or take as a career. So I just wrote my first poem, and then I was more interested in rhyme schemes. I was more interested in trying to sound cool as opposed to telling a story, until in grade 9 it transitioned into rap. When it transitioned into rap, obviously rap being rhythm and poetry, this is when I realized that, okay, I can actually tell a story. But then grade 10 happens. Grade 10, I realize I actually want to be a radio DJ. I don't want any of this poetry stuff. Grade 11 happens, then grade 12 happens, my mother passes on, and then I had to go back and live with my siblings. And this is where my sister reminded me of where I come from in terms of poetry. And she's like, but you can use this as a media. This is when our poetry comes back and it says to me, you know me from the beginning. This is the one thing in your life that hasn't changed. So let's grow with it and let's see where it goes. At the same time, I'm still knocking on these doors. I'm still trying to go to auditions. I'm still trying to fulfill the dreams that I have for myself. But I guess destiny and fate had other plans, and that's how poetry has stuck with me throughout the years. And that's how it has helped me tell my story while at the same time healing other people and also healing myself. And I'm like, you know what? I need comfort. I need love. I need a sense of escape, and I start dating. Worst mistake ever. I think that kind of taught me that I don't want to see myself in a relationship when I know that I am still hurting. I have carried so much hurt from previous relationships and understand that my mother was my first love. So in every relationship that I would go to, I'm still searching for her. In a sense, it doesn't really make sense, but when you think about it, it does, because she taught me my love languages. She taught me that gifting is a love language. She taught me that time spent going out, time spent together is a love language. And obviously, it's not like she was just going to leave me. She was my mother. Then you find a partner who has a life outside of all of that. And for me, I feel like that's not love enough. So I had to sit down and say to myself, I am done with relationships because I haven't yet healed, and now I'm bleeding on people that did not cut me or that did not hurt me. And understand that I wasn't hurt by a human being per se. I was just trying to fill a gap, a void, which can never really be filled. It's just one of those voids you look at and you're like, this is an empty room and I'm not going to furnish it. I'm just going to allow it to have air in so that the paint can dry. Otherwise, there's nothing else I can do. So I have been betrayed in relationships so much. Because of that, how I go into a relationship, I'm already expecting to have certain misfortunes happen, I'm already expecting that I will be hurt, and so it shall be. So then I told myself that I can't do this anymore. I need to relax, I need to chill, and I need to pour into poetry as much as possible, understand how I can heal and how things can be better. And then if I'm not loved the way that I expect to be loved, as of late, I've learned that let me give to people what I would like given to me. But it's hard for people to reciprocate such feelings, especially if they're not on the same wavelength as you. No matter how many times I can talk to a person, if you are not able to hear me, there's nothing else that I can do. There are certain people that can hear you the first time you say something, and then there are certain people that just do not understand your language. So I will stay, and that's where the damage comes in. I'll stay for like maybe say the second year of the relationship. I'll realize that this is going nowhere. But because I am a lover and I love love and I'm committed to end results and I believe in happy endings, I will stay 2 more years in that entire setup. And by the time that I do leave, it's not nice. It's not beautiful. I'm already withdrawn. I'm already drained. I'm already hurt. I'll leave on a gorgeous sunny day where we did not fight and nothing happened. And my partner would probably be thinking, oh, everything is okay now. We're fine. But no, I have snapped. I decided 2 years ago that I will be leaving. It's just that my body and time again did not allow me to leave at that moment. But when I do leave, it is certainly unfair. I know I have a couple of exes that are still sitting and they're like, what happened? You know, I feel like I betrayed a lot of people in terms of not being able to express myself. And the only way I am able to express myself is through poetry, which is really unfair, because why is it that I am unable to talk to my partner and tell them, hey, I don't like A, B, C, and D. Now you have to come to my show, listen to me perform, and you realize, no, she's throwing jabs at me. And if I were to put myself in their shoes, I think I'd find it hard to love me too. So I have moments where I'm like, you know what? I understand them. I understand where they're coming from. It's not easy, and it's not easy being me too, but I am learning how to be that person, how to be able to express myself as freely and as possible as I can. But at the end of the day, I'm not one that really cares to beg a person. And my heart is really small. Anything can set me off at any given time, and I'm learning to be patient. As they say that love is patient, love is caring, and love is kind. I'm learning to be that person, but it is not easy at this point in time. It is really, really hard. Wow, the biggest betrayal. I am convinced that, okay, things are going to start to look up now. I knock at every door that I can think of, and the industry is like, no, we're not ready for you. I think that for me has placed me in a position where I'm like, I need to be my own boss, you know. Whoever I have approached before in terms of brands, in terms of media houses, will finally catch up with me at a certain time. But I cannot sit still and wait for example, YFM to call me and say, hey, we've got a job for you. I need to be in motion so that by the time me and YFM are vibrating on the same level, they can now finally see that, oh, now she's aligned. But that has been the biggest betrayal for me, because I have sat in offices where contracts are about to be signed, and then the next day they don't call you, and you're like, but we spoke about this, we're okay. And the one thing that always ticks me is that my fans will comment, oh, you sound like a newsreader, oh, your poetry is amazing, oh, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? And I'm like, guys, I've been knocking on these doors. And again, time came back and said to me, you need to relax. And there are certain moments where I look at it and I'm like, you know what, if I did actually have a door open for me when I was, say, 19, I probably would have been dead by now. I don't want to lie. Looking at how my life has been and how crazy the industry really is, it needs a person that's firmly rooted in either their spirituality or their knowledge of self. And if you don't have that, you can be easily swayed and easily shaken. So I think with how slow the progress has been, it's not about how high my building of success can be. It's about how wide the foundation can be in terms of how big the ground layout is going to be. And I need to understand that, and I need to be calm. And the one thing that always calms me is a quote that I once read, where they were like, when things start looking bad, remember your name and its meaning. And my name means having patience, or patience, NOMODE. So I have to go back to my name, and I'm like, I have to be patient. And that's the one thing I am not. I am completely impatient. But the wait has been crazy ever since picking up the pen at 14 years old. I am now 31 years old, and I'm only seeing things starting to kind of make sense. Doors are slowly creaking open. You can almost be sure that maybe by next year I should be where I thought I must be, but it's not anymore about blowing up. My success now lies in the number of people I can heal. My success now lies in the number of people that can find comfort in what I say and in what I do, and that can be inspired to be better just because I live, I breathe, and I exist. It's no longer about me, So it has been crazy. The industry is crazy, and sometimes you wish you could just pick up the phone and call them and be like, hey, you interviewed me last week. Why don't I have the job? But you're like, you know what? It's okay. Understand that God's redirection is sometimes you being saved from some crazy stuff. So I have learned to accept that everything is working out perfectly. Everything is working at its own pace. And for as long as I am breathing, I am living, and I am able to be, everything is going to be amazing. My advice for people out there is that live your own life at your own pace, and do not be afraid of God's divine redirection. Sometimes we think that God's no is literally God denying you, when in actual fact there's a bigger door with wider windows that's going to open for you. We need to understand that the pace and the journey of our lives are not the same. You cannot look at the next person and think, oh, they've made it, I should be making it too. It doesn't work like that, and for as long as you can leave the world a better place than you found it when you came in, I think that's the biggest thing that we can do for ourselves. Never mind the money, the houses, the cars. Yes, those are all the things that are just the cherry on top. But how do you feel, inside when you go to sleep at night? Whose day did you make better? Did you greet a stranger? Did you make someone feel seen? Did you make someone feel heard? I think that for me is the best thing that comes with this whole life thing, as opposed to everything else that we are blindly chasing that will not really get us the fulfillment we deserve. Because I believe a lot of us are carrying this emptiness we don't know how to feel, but it's in taking care of the next person as much as you would like to be taken care of. And in terms of my future plans, like I said, I'm at a point in my life where I'm just free sailing. I'm free flowing. I'm not being stagnant. I'm not being static. I'm not fighting the waves. I'm literally going with the flow. I wake up every day and I say to God, show me how good it can get. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, take me by surprise. Let's see what's going to happen today. I think that for me has worked out well, because I'm such a perfectionist. At the same time, I procrastinate because of how I want my things to be perfect. There are a lot of things I had already set out to do that I haven't yet done, because I want things to be perfect immediately when I begin. And I've seen that that's just going to disable me from doing anything. So I'm just going with the flow. I'm taking it easy and I'm enjoying life. And I think that's what we should look for in the future. Anything can happen. I can pop up next month and say I'm now a magician. Can pop up the following month and say I'm a comedian. Anything is possible for NOMODE SKY at this point in time. I understand that I am a vessel that has the spirit of art living in it. So anything is possible. But all I know is that success is definitely here.